are not prepared for what is to come.
Just another movie night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are Just Another Movie Night, and I'm Scott, and with me, as always, is my love, Joe.
Hi, I'm Scott's love.
What's up, Joe?
Nothing. So we're going to the movies.
That's right, because today is before and after reviews where we go see a brand new movie in the movie theater and give our thoughts before and after. Tonight is a pretty good one. Shockingly, right at the end of February, right at the beginning of March, we actually have a movie I'm pretty stoked about.
Yeah.
And that would be Dune 2.
Yeah. Super stoked.
Yes, one of my favorite all-time directors. My favorite current director. Can I say that? I mean, it feels weird to say that because I feel like I'm knocking out, Spielberg and all these other greats that are working today. But he has not let me down once. And I'm going to butcher this name, so I'm afraid to say it out loud,
Can I
but it
say
would be Denis Villeneuve?
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. So I don't think I've been let down once, and he is I think a master of remakes, because he did not remakes but sequels. Blade Runner, he did the sequel to Blade Runner, and that's a hot take, but man, I think it's a better film.
I really do like that one.
I know people love Blade Runner. Never was the hugest fan of it, and you're already tuning out, and I don't blame you, but for some reason, his sequel just was, to me, excellent.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I saw Blade Runner, the original one, ages and ages ago. I don't remember being mind boggled by it. So I was not.
It's one of those Ridley Scott oddities that has been director's cuts, theater cuts, company cuts. Everybody kind of mixed it all up. It's an oddity. Mm-hmm. It has so many versions. We saw his version. I like it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I love the sequel.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
same thing goes with Dune. As much as we liked David Lynch's movie, who was the first to tackle the books, as much as we kind of like it, it definitely needed something else. It wasn't perfect in our eyes, I don't think. And, then this remake comes along, and I was floored during the whole movie. We actually just watched it again to get ready. Well, we almost finished it. It was late, so we couldn't get it all done. But we were kind of rewatching it, and we were just marveling at how beautiful it looks, how good the acting is,
The score.
and the score. Hans Zimmer, just incredible.
So good.
And I am super pumped for this film tonight.
Me too, and I can't wait to see my boy Austin Butler, because I hear that he's pretty good in this.
Yeah, I mean, odd to hear. I never expected to hear about an actor being really good as a villain in a film. Mm-hmm. I'm a little. I didn't want to know that. I don't think, but I couldn't help it. The same thing goes with the reviews. There's so many reviews kind of getting out, and everywhere I go, I'm seeing a number, and it's been really high, which makes me scared that I'm going to have that in my brain and use that against it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's that thing where when you see the overhype, you kind of get underwhelmed. So I'm trying not to be, but it's hard because I really enjoy this guy's films. So I think regardless, I think I'm going to find something that I'm really going to love.
Yeah, especially since this cast is so incredible.
Yeah.
We got Timothée Chalamet. I really do like him. He's one of my favorite new actors. or up and coming actors or whatever I guess you want to call him.
Is that what you say? Yeah.
I really like him. And then of course we have Zendaya, and then this cast is just amazing.
Yeah, this one has everybody in it. I don't know why it was a surprise. I thought I had heard it really long ago when they first started production that Anya Taylor-Joy was going to be in it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, I guess the cat's out of bag. She's in it too. But I was like, is it really matter because everybody's in this?
Yeah.
Florence Pugh is also in this movie. And the cast from the first one.
Yeah, I love Florence Pugh, but Anya Taylor-Joy is one of my favorite actresses. I love her.
The current favorite, younger actresses. Yeah. I agree. This has a stellar cast. I don't know how they're all going to come in because there was a lot left open in the last one. So we really got to see, like, Dave Bautista. Mm-hmm. You know, he survived, and so did Stellan Skarsgård, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Is it Stellan Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Josh Brolin made it, right? So
Yeah,
he's
well,
back.
well, we didn't know that, but unfortunately, the trailers already gave that away.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this is one of those odd movies where the trailers show a lot, but makes me think I'm not seeing anything. You ever get that? Where you see a movie and you're like, oh, maybe I'm seeing too much, but maybe I'm not.
I've seen it so many times, and I feel like each time I keep picking up new things. But overall, like, I've stayed off the internet. Like, if I see anybody talking about it online, I'm just click off because I don't want to know. I don't want to know what the scores are. I don't want to know what people are saying about it because I want to form my own opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. Oh, I did see one thing today. Someone posted on Instagram the stupid bucket, the popcorn bucket.
Oh, that popcorn bucket. We're not
gonna.
Our theater's not getting it. I saw someone put it on top of a Barbie cup, and I thought that was really funny.
What is happening in that cup and why? Like, is it a bucket? Is it the bucket for the popcorn or the cup?
No, that's the popcorn bucket.
Oh my god!
You have to reach into a sandworm's mouth. It's like hairs. Everybody was joking that it's like people are going to use it sexually, and it is not. It is. They said it's very off-putting to put your hand in. Unfortunately, our theater isn't getting that. We hardly get cool things at our theaters.
We never get anything cool.
We go to Regal theaters, and they rarely have cool things. Although I am getting word that from one of the people who work there told me that they are going to have the Ghostbusters pack that opens up with the popcorn in it.
The Ecto one.
No, we're actually getting the trap. Another company did get Ecto 1, and I saw someone else got Slimer.
Oh my god.
Is the popcorn bucket.
Okay.
Which is kind of neat. This is the first popcorn bucket we're probably going to get.
Yeah.
In a while. We usually collect those tins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Regal. You need to step up your game. But I can't say anything else about this because I'm so excited. I'm definitely going in with a super amazing attitude, which is kind of not really like me. I'm kind of just like, we'll see type deal. But I have a feeling this is going to be really good.
Yeah, I feel like we're just going to sit there in awe. That's my first thought, is that when you watch this director's movies, have a style about them that just really, every shot is meaningful.
Yeah, it looks so beautiful, even when it's supposed to be gross.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
It's crazy. I mean, just the way I guess my biggest concern though is the special effects. I get a little worried about too many effects, too much green screening, like things like that.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how much he's trying to do practically. I know he's one of those filmmakers that goes for that extra length and probably wants to do less effect, but his effects always really impress me in his films, like the things that they decide to do, like Arrival and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's so...
Arrival was so good.
And we just saw one of his earlier films in Cindy's recently. And I couldn't believe how good cinematography was, how good directing was, how good score was for the effect around the actors. I'm always impressed. So I think that's a lot of, like, boosting, like I'm boosting.
It's high praise for Denis.
Yeah, I'm boosting the whole film up, and I'm just like, that might be my problem here.
No, I really don't think it's gonna be a problem. I think we're boosting because I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I have such a positive attitude right now going into this.
I mean, that's a rare thing, and I also say that's a rare thing for early, like February, March.
Yeah.
usually you get a bunch of movies that are kind of like pushed out, trashy movies, like just kind of like experimental,
Yeah.
actiony, like
Well-
nothing great. We've been seeing some movies recently that have been okay.
Yeah. I mean, entertaining enough. But this one, I feel like we've been waiting a long time.
Oh, it feels like it.
It feels like forever. So now that it's here, I'm like, okay, giddy up, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready. And I mean, I'm so taken aback by what they did to poor Austin Butler's face. Like, every time I see him in the trailer, my mouth is hanging open, and I'm like, oh, damn it. You know, like, what'd you do to his pretty face?
This is the concern, right?
But I'm like, I know that it's going to make me go, oh my God, because like he was so good in Elvis, and I kind of just like, I'm all in on Austin Butler right now. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to see how he is in this.
Yeah. Let's go check it out.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
It's only fragments. Nothing's clear. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades.
Load!
My family's been fighting them for centuries.
Your blood comes from dukes, then great houses. Here, we're equal. What we do for the benefit of all.
Well, I'd very much like to be equal to you.
Maybe I'll show you the way.
Deal with this prophet.
Send assassins.
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through. My allegiance is to you. Do you believe me?
And we're back, and we just saw Dune 2, and I don't know, I'm gonna say it right now. Holy shit! Holy crapola! What a experience this was.
Well, see, the words that are coming out of your mouth, they don't line up with your facial expressions.
Well, because it's not that first walking out of the theater, just to set it up. We walk from our movie theater. We don't talk about the movie at all until we start recording. But if it was the instant, if we were talking right after the movie, I would have turned to you in the movie theater and said, "Holy shit!" Because,
Okay.
god damn, was this a good movie?
Yeah,
I mean,
it really was.
I was riveted through this entire 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Was it 2 hours and 40 minutes?
I was sucked in, and I don't even think there was a moment where I was like bored.
I didn't feel the 2 hours. I didn't feel it at all.
Oh,
2 hours
goodness.
and 40 minutes.
I believe it was 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't feel it. I was like really like 100% wholly invested.
I there was moments where I actually had to stop myself from having my mouth hang open. I was just so invested in what was happening. This is one of the most beautiful friggin' things I have watched. Like just directing wise, there were shots in this. I a lot of the time it had that stuff where it was like, that's CG. Because God, does this look real? I don't know what it was about it. Even the things that shouldn't. There was this really clever thing done in the trailer where, I watched the guys on Corridor Crew talk about the explosion and how well it's done, and how the people who did it understand light, because the explosion how they filmed it and how they showed what light would be like from the explosion. What was crazy about that is in the trailer, when you see this explosion, it's actually a trick, because I think in another shot they added a whole nother ship to it.
Well, now you're talking about the one where Paul Atreides is standing in the foreground, and you can
Yes,
see.
and it's black behind him. It's like perfect shot.
What a beautiful, beautiful shot.
But what's crazy, I think they added this. There's a ship that's a sphere that looks like a phantasm ball. So
I was thinking that the whole time.
what was amazing about that is they added a whole nother layer to the special effect, because you have reflection. And man, does it look real.
Yeah,
it's
so beautiful.
The
It's
explosion
mirrored.
itself is like incredible looking.
It looks like when the fire's coming like all around it, it looks like a ball of, I know it's like a mirrored spacecraft, but it looks like a ball of water. It just looks so fluid and beautiful. I mean, some of the shots in this movie are mind-blowing.
And that's just
Mind-blowing.
one shot we're talking about right now. We're just
Yeah.
talking about one thing. There are moments of, I would say, constant moments of my hair standing up and getting shivers.
Yeah.
Just because of the things. The end battle is just incredible to look at. The people jumping out of the sand and running looked so incredible to look. I'm just like, again, I know I already said in the opening that unfortunately, no matter what, this director just blows me away every time. And yeah, once again,
this time was like tenfold. I feel like he just went that extra mile. I mean, the first part was absolutely gorgeous and breathtaking, but this one, I feel like it just went one notch above that. Like, if you could get better than the first part of Dune, I was shocked if he could get better, and he went better. I mean, just bigger and better. I was blown away by this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Bigger and better. And I think that you definitely learned something in the editing stage here from the first one. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people said the first one was a little boring. And I can understand why some people would say that. I'm, recently talking online to somebody, another podcasters, and they were talking about slow movies. Like, what are the most boring films that people love? Right? And one of them said Citizen Kane. Of course.
Okay.
I said, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I can get why someone wouldn't enjoy it. I can get what it is. I would say it's like a film nerd's like classic. I understand. There's a reason that like people in Hollywood hold it so dear, because it's just a technical marvel for the time. People just talk about what was done like on just in filmmaking, and so it is a filmmaker's movie. And like maybe the story doesn't get you. The same can be said for the first Dune in the sense that it is a slow building movie. Not the most talking movie, not the, whatever. I adored that, but I can see why other people might be knocked out from that. This movie just said, all right, if that's your problem, get rid of it. And I would say that maybe it's a little bit of a flaw in the film, that certain shots just jump. A character will be looking at a character, and then the next shot, all the other characters are gone, and it's a quiet moment between the two characters. And it was like, the editing was done in a way where it was like, we're not going to give you a moment to be bored. Mm-hmm. We're going to give you things, constant things. There's even like, sometimes rushed exposition. Like, there's one moment in dialogue that I could definitely pinpoint where I said, okay, that was a little too forced and cheesy. There's a scene where Josh Brolin just randomly says, he's reestablishing what we already know and characters should already know, but he's like, I want revenge on this person because this person did it and they gave me this scar. It's like, would someone say that? Like, it's one of those lines of dialogue that, like, I don't know if anybody would say that, but it's just like reestablishing to the audience. But it just felt very, like, put in for no reason.
I get why they did that, though, because he doesn't know the Johnny, or Zendaya's character, he doesn't really know her. He's just met her for the first time. So he feels like he has to explain some things to her, and I understand that.
It's the moment, though, that it happens. There's a moment where, prior in the movie, where she's saying to him, she's saying that, oh, your friend doesn't know anything about the desert. And and when he says, well, he's my friend, And so she says, oh, he's my family.
My family.
So she gets up and walks over to him to help him, but the scene cuts away.
Right.
And I'm like, that's the moment where these two characters can actually share a dialogue of understanding each other a little bit.
Yeah, but they cut, yeah.
So moments like him grabbing her hand and pulling her down in that scene would have, like, kind of worked it better.
Yeah, if they had established them together in that one scene.
Yeah,
and
because
not later on.
In the scene where he does say it, it's a weird time to do it. There's something happening that's like the moment. And cutting to that, it just felt so... But I'm only using this to establish why some of the editing might be a little bit of a flaw, and why it might be a plus for a lot of people who don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This movie is pummeling you with so much stuff going on.
Yeah. Can I say something that I really enjoyed about this? It's so weird.
Okay.
But I was paying attention, like, so thoroughly to every single bit of violence that was happening to see how much, like, gore or blood or whatever they would show. And I have to tell you, it was brilliant directing. That anytime any of the villains brutally murdered someone, you would see it so quickly, but you would never see... It would be brutal, but you would never see, like, any kind of blood or guts, Yeah,
it didn't need to harp on like sex. It didn't need to harp on violence, although it's giving you violent moments.
Right.
It didn't need to. It established in a way where, and you're knowing what's going on to the point where you don't need to be graphically hit over the head with it.
Right, that's what I love about it.
You can just kind of already make it up. It's that Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing that we love so much, where people think that movie's extremely gory, and it's not.
Yeah.
They just assume it is because your mind tells you what's happening.
Right.
That's a good director, knows when to let your imagination already make the scene up in your head while you're watching it.
Right. I mean, a lot of those scenes belong to Austin Butler because he was brutal and creepy looking, but the way that he took people out, he did it so fluidly and quick that it's almost like it didn't even happen, but we're seeing it on screen.
Yeah.
It was very beautifully done.
Yeah.
That's just one thing I noticed. Also, can we talk about the score again?
Oh, it's
beautiful.
I cannot talk about the score in these movies enough. They are just next level incredible.
Timothy Chalamet, I don't know what it is, or I guess it's the musical editing that's being put there, but every time they phone in on his, like, face...
And they play that theme?
Yes.
His theme?
Oh, it's so
him
beautiful.
And Johnny's theme?
Yeah.
It's, oh my God.
Right? Isn't it just gorgeous? I'm, like, in love with it.
It's in your mind. When you hear it, it invokes so much emotion.
Yeah, it really does.
And this is a good filmmaker and a good composer working together.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, like, I've seen, like, videos of John Williams watching Spielberg stuff and making the score while, like, they give him the cut and then they do that. That's how they make these scores usually. That they go in there and they try to make what the score is going to be over the movie they're watching without it. And I can't imagine what Dune would be like without music. Like these movies.
It would definitely be missing a whole lot because the score just brings some extra added beauty and just absolute glory to this movie.
It's might be cliche to say, but it is a character. It is a character in the movie itself where everything you need to know, the music is letting you in on it. Every time you cue, every little thing. And the one time that a couple of the scores from the first movie come in, they're powerful.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
And I will say this, good job, Regal, on fixing your sound system.
Oh,
because
it's only in this one theater.
I mean,
And
honestly,
we didn't go in that one today.
the explosions literally shook my seat.
This movie really
You
kicks
felt it.
ass on surround sound.
Yeah, like through your bones, you can feel it. It was just such an epic thing to see on this big screen. I feel like there's no other way to watch this movie. You have to go to the movie theater and see this movie.
Oh, this is definitely a theater experience.
Yeah.
And I would say that this is the rare time we did not get to see it in like Screen X or one of these bigger screens. But I can only imagine on a really crisp screen, a bigger screen with better surround sound, and the Screen X experience maybe with the sides or IMAX. This must be incredible.
I mean, I want to go see it again, but on Screen X. I really do.
It's like one of those movies I'm like, I gotta see this in different formats. Like, I have to know what this is gonna be like.
Was there anything about the movie that you didn't really appreciate at all?
I think that was the good things to bring up some of those flaws, what I saw, which was easy. And I think that editing is one of the big moments I think that might make or break some people's scores, in reviewing anyways, because it definitely plays a part in some things feeling like they're just jumping. Like there's some things where it's like, what? Oh, okay, where are we now? Oh, we're here. Okay. There's a lot of that. And it's funny. I can see that some people like we in the before we said something about Austin Butler being talked about a lot as a villain. I don't think he's in this enough. And
no, I don't think so either.
I feel like he gets a scene to establish him that might be a little too much. Like, is this needed? We get a gladiator moment in this movie for like out of nowhere, and I feel like it's a shame that we don't know the three characters in that scene with him. That he's going to fight in this gladiator style?
Well, he was the star of the show, so it wasn't really important, I don't think, but it was just to show us that he was a madman. He was a badass.
Yeah.
He was a champion.
It could have been something really powerful if we knew those three soldiers, like if they had established who they were earlier in the movie. And I would say that another character later on is killed, and it's really hard to tell who that character is, and I don't think like they're there and they have dialogue and all this stuff, and then they die later on, and it's like, oh, I don't feel like I even knew that person enough to feel this emotion I'm supposed to be feeling.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of felt that why did they cast... Okay, I am not a huge Christopher Walken fan. I feel like
his eyes on screen, his hair, everything about him was like, just is captivating.
Okay, I'll give you that, but I mean, he just doesn't... Anytime he has dialogue, it just seems like he's struggling all the time.
It's the
know?
Christopher Walken acting. It's some people might see it as a weak thing, but
I don't think here.
He was... I get it. I also don't think he is established enough, especially since he was hinted about only in the first one.
True.
They're not in it enough, but it doesn't really matter because this is definitely Paul's story and his journey, and Rebecca Ferguson, right? That's who.
Oh my God.
Rebecca Ferguson and Timothée Chalamet.
So they're great.
Are so good.
They're so good. Oh my gosh.
Man, Rebecca Ferguson in particular is.
She does a
lot in this film.
Face acting, and it's so intense.
She has to have conversations in her head, and we have to watch, and she's selling it on her face.
Yeah, and her whole face is acting without even her opening her mouth. It's just incredible. She's really good.
Yeah,
she's really good.
Really good. And Zendaya.
Oh my God, her facial expressions in this too.
Oh my goodness.
Really, her intensity. It's inspiring. I appreciate her as an actress.
Oh, yeah,
I really do think she's great, and she's got this charisma about her, where she can have the most flawless-looking, beautiful, sweet face, but then she can automatically turn savage, you know? And,
yes.
and brutal, and I love that because it's like, not all women have just, women in general don't just have one look.
Yeah.
We all have different,
Yeah.
personalities. But I feel like she just completely just puts it all out there, all of it. She's very intense. I love it.
Again, it's really important to talk about like how great the romance actually feels genuine and the chemistry feels extremely real. Mm-hmm. They have their love in the movie, their story is extremely powerfully done, like in a way where it's not even too much, but it just really works. It clicks.
Mm-hmm. It does. Yeah, they're kind of cute together too, and they have their moments.
Their
and stuff.
moments, like they're just the sharing of her look and his look. Every time he looks at her and they play their theme, it's
so beautiful, but
it's romantic. It is really intense. Like I feel every moment like of everything I'm supposed to be feeling for these characters.
Yes, and like they throw those moments in, like right in between, like there's some crazy carnage and war stuff going on, and then they have those moments, and it kind of it takes you in and out, which is it's kind of fun. It's very fun. But can we talk about Javier Bardem?
Yeah, another stellar.
Fucking awesome.
He's really good in this. He's funny.
He's so good.
A much needed comic.
Yeah.
Acting in this, it's not even like the forced funny character. He's just that's his character is generally, is he believes and stuff, but he also is just very naturally funny without even like
without
trying.
Without trying.
It just
at
feels
all.
like a really natural person.
Yeah.
The same thing with Josh Brolin.
Oh yeah.
You just
Oh, I love Josh.
automatically these actors bring that to their roles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can go on for days about just even the acting and the directing,
cinematography,
the
directing.
Oh my god, the score, it was just beautiful.
I can't gush about this movie enough.
I know. I can go on for days about how wonderful it was.
I couldn't stop thinking during the movie, comparison-wise. I couldn't stop thinking about movies that I have seen, and that feel epic, and they make me feel like I'm just like this director understands. When you're watching a movie, especially sci-fi or fantasy, when you're just like sitting there and you're watching it and you get sucked in, if they can sell that world to you and sell all. This movie is literally a political, religious, like destiny film, and a war movie at the same time, and it's over a spice that comes off the sand, and they ride giant worms, and
those scenes are amazing, by the way. When they ride the worms,
it looks real.
Oh my god, all the sand, being thrown. Oh god, it's just beautiful.
But the fact that the director and they were able to sell that in some kind of believable way, where my mind completely sets off and believes everything is a real world, is a real people, and all that. And I couldn't stop thinking about other movies like that. And of course, Lord of the Rings came to mind, about these long, epics that just sell me on a world, and I completely absorb in it, and I get it. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, there is nothing like these Dune movies.
They're so
gorgeous.
Because
whereas Lord of the Rings is, it's got that it's got that happiness, that fantasy, that they have the jokey characters who crack jokes, and they're going for jokes in the middle of a war where you don't really need it or want it.
It has the same kind of feeling as in the way of intensity, because you do have those cute happy moments, but then you have complete savage brutality happening too. Yeah, in both.
That's what I was gonna say, was that the difference between the two is that Dune feels just real in a weird way, where the characters feel like real people, whereas in Lord of the Rings, those characters are kind of more of fantasy. You're these fantasy characters who do marvelous things and do crazy things. Here, people are making decisions and playing chess in a way where it's it feels really heavy in a real adult way. And it's in a way where I'm like, holy shit. I don't know, watching this movie, I was like, this is so unique. And the fact that they can pull it all off kind of blows my mind.
I get what you're saying about that, like about the two worlds, like being the same but yet different. Because I do understand like the fantasy fairy tale world that you're talking about with Lord of the Rings, and then the real life. It seems so true that you could just really meet these people in real life.
Yeah.
I totally appreciate that, but also you're trying to tell me that Lord Elrond is not real. I mean,
It was more.
don't break my heart, okay?
It was more about like the idea that Peter Jackson definitely knows where humor and lightheartedness needs to come in a way where it was like, even if I'm going to go dark, I'm still going to bring fantasy into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And in this, he's not into that. He's like, no, this world's dark, and I know there's going to be romance in here, and there's going to be some like things. I'm going to treat it completely real. Like, and not, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
both of these like franchises are so precious and beautiful. Oh my god, I said precious. God damn it. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, they're so just beautiful
yeah.
in their own way, and I'm mind boggled by this. I want to watch it again. I really want to go back and watch it in the Screen X.
Yeah,
thing, 'cause
I was thinking about it the whole time. I'm like, what movies do you really ever want to go see twice in the theater?
Well, we saw Top Gun. Well, we saw Maverick.
That was an accident, but
by happy accident.
Turned out okay. Yeah,
On Screen X with the jets flying by on
Yeah.
the sides.
I was actually happy about it because the movie we were about to see that we like had a problem, we saw later on, and I was like, kind of glad I saw Top Gun again.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a fun movie.
But yeah, so I'm gushing and you're gushing and
Yeah,
whatever. But
so
what are you
good.
going to give this out of 10?
All right, well, so I gave part 1 an 8. I feel as though because it's unresolved, we have another movie coming. Same way we felt kind of about the Spider-Verse, you know. I will give this an 8 also. Because I really loved it. I feel like it was one notch above though. But it's still in that 8 range. So I'm gonna stay with my 8.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I gave the first one a 9, and I am giving this one a 9. This is a close perfect for me.
Wow, I mean, you have
This
a
is
problem
almost a
though.
10 for me.
You have a problem.
I did. That's why I'm not going to do a 9.
with things being unresolved. So
No, this movie actually resolves.
I mean,
There's more coming, but what the movie was going for, they did it.
okay.
That's a difference between movies that don't have endings. Into the second Spider-Verse movie did not have an ending. Nothing was ever resolved.
Okay, I'll give you that.
The same thing with Fast X recently. There's been a thing with that where movies need an ending. Like we were talking about, the new Mission Impossible. He gets them to the end. He saves the thing, but there's still a next thing. Mm-hmm. That's different. That's a sequel bait. Like that's an opening for a sequel. Movies like Back to the Future. Mm-hmm. It ends. They do what they did, but then he comes and says, "There's more."
Right.
So that's just sequel baiting. Like, in this movie's like, I'm going to get you there. I'm going to get you to this. We're going to get to this moment. And he gets them. There was multiple times in this movie where I was like, they can end it. Mm-hmm. They can literally stop here.
Yeah.
They did so much. And I didn't expect them to keep going. And then when they got to the end, I was like, wow, they did a lot. But they cleverly left it for the next part.
Yeah.
And there's a whole new chapter now.
It was extremely well done the way they did it.
That's how you do a great sequel.
Yeah.
Same like I talk about Empire Strikes Back, Two Towers, same thing. Where there's still so much still, but the Battle for Helm's Deep ends. Mm-hmm. That's the one first battle. We get the first hill and we're getting over it. Then the next hill, and then the same thing with Empire Strikes Back. They get there, but they lose Han.
Right.
The opening is now we have to go save our friend.
Right.
In the
Okay.
process. So, I think that's what perfect endings. Like Luke confronts Vader, and finds out the truth. That story is now set up for a bigger story. But we
Yeah.
got to that story. They versed each other. and then there's a cliffhanger. Cliffhangers are great. I love cliffhangers when they're done properly, but with like Spider-Verse, literally nothing ended. Nothing was resolved.
That's
no
true.
story was
That's
resolved
true.
whatsoever. It just jumped out.
I mean, we
Out.
definitely we did get something here. So I mean, you're right. It is slightly different, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay with my 8 because, if you want to get nitpicky, it's not a perfect movie to me, but it's almost perfect.
Yeah,
I do want to
this-
go 9, but
This I love that I'm
think about
actually getting a
this.
9. I don't even think I gave a 9 to anything last year. Already in the second month, I'm giving a 9
really,
out.
I feel like you did give something a 9. Double check
I
yourself.
did. I did. I know what it is, but I'm not going to repeat it because it's funny enough. I already did my top favorite movies of the year, and my number 1 is one that nobody will agree with ever, and I don't care.
That's Beau was Afraid.
No,
Right?
no,
Wasn't it? No?
That's definitely got flaws. No, it was Elemental. Okay,
Oh,
make me sing it.
Elemental, that's
All right, Pixar's
right.
Elemental. I don't give a shit. It was beautiful.
You know what? You be you. You don't want to
Yeah, I don't
apologize to
give a
anyone.
shit.
Don't you dare apologize.
I don't give a shit.
You shouldn't.
That this movie is going to be hard to beat this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's for me.
I don't know. We'll see.
So you're giving it an 8. What is the movie that you what is the thing that really bothers you the most from it?
Okay. I'm not too keen on some of the characters and how they're put together. So like Stellan Skarsgård, I'm not behind him. He doesn't seem like a
I hope you're not.
I mean, you know what I mean, like
Pretty heavy gentleman.
Jesus. He doesn't seem like as menacing as he should be. He just seems like a big blob that he doesn't do anything. He's just one of those man behind the curtain things. I feel like
He was set up in the first one a lot, so
I guess we just need. I don't know. It's like you're gonna make him a big part in this, and he did have a lot of scenes. Do something more. That kind of was bothersome.
I mean, that was one of my flaws too. Was one of my flaws for the movie is I can see, and I already brought up the Austin Butler's bad guy. Everybody loves slashing throats in the villains in this movie series. Like they just all how I'm a badass. I slice throats.
Yeah.
And each character, Dave Bautista, Stellan Skarsgård, and Austin Butler slash throats.
Yeah, see, that was going to be another thing, that Dave Bautista was one of the weaker parts for me. Because I don't know what happened to his character, he just fell apart.
Because they're losing. It makes total sense.
I mean, it does make sense, but I guess I kind of had higher hopes for him, even though he was a villain.
Although the man can yell and scare the crap.
That's another
on the
thing,
set,
yeah.
He must have scared crap out of people
He was
yelling
just
in his scenes.
Yelling and
Yeah.
yelling through this whole movie. Through all his scenes, he was screaming, and I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, he's terrifying. But I just feel like I needed more from him. I needed more from Stellan Skarsgård. And, I don't know. I could nitpick, but, there's nitpicky things, but I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to stick with my very high 8,
Yeah.
but I can't push it over to a 9.
What I can't wait is to see people who read the books talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see, because this is one of those rare series that people who read the books and love the David Lynch movie growing up have said, yeah, the first one was pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's my boss. It's like his favorite movie ever.
The original.
The original Dune.
And then he said that the remake was
But
amazing.
he's obsessed with he loves
Yeah.
it. We actually just talked about it today, and he loves it.
The guys on Red Letter Media as well, huge fans, and they were talking about it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like it's shocking. They were saying, they would complain. They were like, "There's things that we wish would have been done better." There was a couple characters like the person who sold them out in the original movie, the doctor. He has more stuff, and there's also a robot guard guy that works for them, and he was like, "That's like a whole thing." But they said no. They cleverly cut down and got to the meat in the right way, and I can't wait to see what they think about this. I wonder if they're going to complain that it is too fast and too much. That's what I'm really interested in hearing.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I had a really great time watching this, and I highly recommend everyone go see it in the theater because there's nothing like that theater experience. Nothing.
No, you're nothing like it.
I mean, my seat was vibrating, and with the explosions and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was gorgeous. It was absolutely breathtaking to look at.
Yeah. All right, so we big recommendations here.
Yep.
All right, we're on social media. Sorry, I'm still thinking about the whole damn movie, processing it still. But thanks for listening, everybody. We're on social media on Instagram at Just Another Movie Night, and Joe is the Crafty Misfit. Go check it out. And yeah, thanks. Next time, I don't even know what the next movie is, but next time we'll have a new one. Usually every Friday. So we'll see how this goes this week. All right, everybody, have a good one. Bye.
I want you to know I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.